Hi, I'm John Larson, here to talk about how to spot dealers, or actually, I should say legal dealers. When I mean that, I'm talking about the legal medical marijuana field, and I'm here kind of to talk about how to, prepare yourself when getting into the medical marijuana field and the types of people that you'll deal with who aren't the type of people that you should deal with. So let's start by talking about legal dealers. And what I mean by that is people who seem like they're good people, I'm not saying that you should be paranoid of everybody, or actually what I am saying is you should be paranoid of everybody at first. You have to be able to spot nefarious medical representatives, basically, people who, come out at first with something good, which is, something I'd like to talk later about. That's considered, it's considered one form of double dealing, but I'll talk about that later. For right now, I'd like to talk about the saying that comes from an urban, you know, pretty much an urban proverb, as I like to call it now, called check yourself before you wreck yourself. And what that means basically is check for yourself if something is good before you wreck yourself, meaning like before everything fucks up and you don't know how to handle the situation. Make sure you know everything about the situation before you go into something, or else you'll run into problems. You don't really want it to look for deals, because deals, come from the urban source of, dealing, which is, pretty much, illegitimate and illegal. The practice of it is a method. It's the method is not illegal. The method is just, ill practiced. It's not good to be practiced that way, and people who do it make a considerably larger amount of money than the normal people at the cost of quality and assurance that a medical effort was made. Deals always turn sour. What I mean by that is there's a difference between dealing and bargaining. There's a difference between dealing and bartering. Bartering is something like, you know, bartering is considered, hey, I bought a lot from you. Could you hook me up? Because I come on a consistent basis and you never have to worry about having to sell your product because you know of my availability for that medicinal product. That's considered a form of bartering, instead of, whereas dealing is someone throwing a one-sided experience your way, where it's like, you can only get it this one time, or I have this major deal where a friend of mine gave me some stuff, and that's actually called double dealing as well, because that can be really bad, because with double dealing you can get anything from flavor snatching to freeze maturing. With pot specifically, flavor snatching is where someone will take something like Tasty Puff or some sort of emulsant, taste flavoring spray that you can get from a head shop or something like that, and spray it on the pot for at least a week. It will taste good, and over time, it'll molt and it'll start tasting really nasty. And then you'll realize you just got screwed over really bad. Let's see. Freeze maturing is basically, you see something that's got red hairs, all looks nice and mature and everything, but it's messed up because someone can take something who's early that they clipped and like, oh, they messed up, but they clipped it early. But no, it's okay. My friend told me about this method where you can take it and put it in the freezer for like so long, and then take it out and then dry it out with a dehumidifier, and it's called freeze maturing. But it's not actually maturing. In the freezer, the plant stays alive for up to 48 hours. Whereas, in that type of, high freeze situation, it's just, there's a reaction. I know there's a definite reaction that makes it look as though it matured, but it doesn't. It just grows and sours, basically. It hits the flavor, man. There's no flavor to it. Tastes like crap, is mostly considered stress in most neighborhoods, in urban, areas and stuff like that, Sensimia stress, basically, something that was clipped early, early bird. People call it early bird, stuff like that, if you have something that isn't mature and the hairs are the trichomes aren't stimulated in any way, then that's legitimate immature, which is actually better than this, because this will hit you hard really fast, but it won't last. Like, it won't last at all. It won't have any residual effect. Also consider the difference between dealing and bartering whenever you're dealing with someone that you think that is your friend or whatever, because people tend to want to help out everybody in this business. So, it's hard to understand who's your friend and who's not. Dealer constructs is a big, issue that most people have, because they don't understand dealer constructs. If someone is coming to you all the time with something different, 9 times out of 10, they're double dealing, which means they're taking something from somebody else and repricing it to you for just a little bit higher than what they bought it for. And the person who sold it to them probably isn't doing the best job at providing a medical service to people anyway. So it's just, riding your, trust, taking advantage of the honor system. Basically, I got screwed over by somebody else. That's what's considered double dealing and a companion scam. A companion scam where, someone who's considered a companion, feels that they're helping out someone else, but then at the same time, they're screwing over everybody else that they know, and they use the fact that it's not them, it's someone else. So don't fall for that, and don't let anyone take advantage of your trust on that. Another thing about dealer constructs is the flavor snatching. One person cannot fill the needs of all. If someone claims that they have the best stuff, test it out. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, or else you're going to end up with some nasty shit. Every single time you don't check it. Fear plays into a relief structure. What that means is, if someone sees that you're afraid to stick up to them when you have a problem with something, that it won't relieve you. It'll relieve them for wanting to lean in on you and make more money off of you. It's a structure that doesn't become helpful to the recipient of the medicine. It just becomes more fearful, because the level at which you deal with somebody becomes comfortable, and you don't want to go out and meet somebody else and possibly have this other person leave you alone and you not have anything, and don't let anyone ever play into that and say that you won't get anything better from anyone else. If that happens, you should just drop them and try and find someone immediately. Try and get away from that person, because they're going to try and screw you over as much as they can, and not give you any leeway about it. I can guarantee you. Let's see. Don't let fear mask inevitable foolishness, and that kind of plays into the same thing. Don't let someone think that you're not afraid of them when you really are, because they'll know it. People tend to know things more than you do if you're trying to hide it, and someone's close to you, especially. Don't think that people close to you won't screw you over, because it's really bad these days. I can't say everyone is bad, but I'm just saying, be careful. Especially people that you've only known for a couple of years, even. Lastly, the only thing keeping you from getting good medicine herb is you. Basically, do what you have to do, and don't let anyone push you around, because when that starts to happen, then you become basically, a target for everyone in that type of community. If you deal in a certain community, and there's a lot of people who know you, one person talks about one bad experience that you let them take advantage of you and it's over. So don't take any chances. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. So, this is video 1. Maybe there will be others. We'll see. I can't really think of any more information than that, as far as, watching your ass when getting into the, finding what I call a caregiver, in Michigan. I don't know what they're called in other states, but here in Michigan they're called caregivers, medical marijuana caregivers, and the point of this video is, how to spot nefarious medical representatives in the caregiver, stream. So, yeah. Remember, check yourself before you wreck yourself.